I'm State Senator Josh McLaurin.
And I'm State Representative Ruwa Romman.
And this is What's on Fire, Special Edition.
Crossover, because we're not going to be able to sit down at all, because all we do during crossover is vote on a ton of bills. Crossover is the last day for a bill to go from one chamber to the other.
Yeah, so crossover just literally means legislative day 28 out of 40. So constitutionally, you got to do 40 days of session every year. And by day 28, you have to get a bill from the House to the Senate, or else it doesn't pass for that year.
Yep, and so you'll see a lot of people scrambling because unfortunately we had started session weeks ago and people kind of forget. Committees take time to get set up, especially in the first year of the biennial, which means that a lot of committees haven't really met in the first few weeks, forget assignments to begin with and offices and everything. So we're going to be hearing a lot of bills today. We've already voted on a lot of bills today.
Yeah, and like a lot of these bills are just kind of nothing burgers. Like people wouldn't be that interested in them, but some of them really suck. Like we've got one SB 120 that's coming up today that is about like eliminating DEI out of Georgia schools. Obviously, we know what that means. It's just trying to end diversity in general and set us back decades in racial progress.
And it's not only that, some of these bills have funding implications. So if you're a school that has any of these programs, you could legitimately lose your funding. It is a huge, huge problem. On the House side, it's been mostly tame, but there's still like 6 hours to midnight, which is technically the deadline, although people will go further. But we're going to be getting a lot from the Senate.
Yeah, and so I should say it's also the deadline for the Senate bills to go to the House. And so, look, it like moves pretty slow sometimes. Sometimes it moves really fast. Sometimes there's so many bills you haven't read yet because there's no time to read them, like with amendments that you haven't had time to read. Like this building gets really crazy, and we're understaffed because Georgia doesn't fund its government sufficiently, surprise. And so we have to basically do things on the fly. Like sometimes we can afford chiefs of staff with like a very small office budget. We get what, like 7,000?
Yeah, not even. Yeah.
Yeah.
7,000.
So like $7,000 isn't enough to pay like one person a living wage for 2 months, let alone the ability to, research legislation, do everything we need to do. And that's kind of by design.
Yep. So for us, this episode is definitely going to be focusing more on the state level this time around because crossover is a tough one. And so we'll be here until midnight. Feel free to drop any questions that you have about bills that we've passed. This is not the end of the road. Some bills come back as zombies. They get put into other bills that got passed over. So definitely stay vigilant. And if there's anything that you are interested in, let us know and come down and testify.
Yeah, we're like very much focused on state legislative stuff today because it's just like our job and it's like one of the biggest days of the year. But federal stuff obviously still on fire. We've got the Supreme Court that ordered 5-4 for the USAID payments to resume. We'll see if the Trump administration actually does that. Musk is now apparently giving congressional Republicans permission to do things because they're asking him for stuff. I could go on forever about federal stuff, but today's about state legislative stuff.
Yeah, so we hope to see you sometime during this legislative session. Come meet us at the ropes, come down to committee hearings and give testimony. Email us, call us, but this is the level of government that's closest to you.
See you next time.
See ya.
On
What's on Fire.